following steps to increase cooperation in the sphere of agriculture. Minister of Culture of the Russian Federation, Mr. Medinsky, and the deputy head of the major Chinese agency for mass media, press, and TV, Mr. Tungan, have signed an agreement between the government of Russia and the government of China to cooperate in the production of films. Minister of Russian Economic Development, Mr. Reshkin, and the Minister for Commerce of China, Mr. Shan, have signed a joint agreement of the two countries, Russian Ministry and the Russian agency, to work closely, laying the foundation for the Eurasian Economic Union cooperation track. Head of the Russian Federal Agency for the protection of customer rights and human rights, Ms. Popova, and the Ministry of China, Mr. Van E, have signed an agreement on cooperation and interaction in what concerns the healthcare services and health preservation in two countries between the Russian agency and the major Chinese inspection agency. Minister of Foreign Relations of the Russian Federation, Mr. Lavrov, and the Minister of Foreign Relations of China have signed a joint statement between the Russian Foreign Minister and the Chinese Foreign Minister on the Korean Peninsula problems and solutions to them. Advisor to the President, Mr. Shogolev, and the Minister of Foreign Relations of China, Mr. Yi, have signed a memorandum of intent to cooperate in the sphere of the informational space development. President of the Russian Federation, Mr. Putin, and the General Secretary of the People's Republic of China are signing the joint statement by Russia and the People's Republic of China to further deepen the relations and comprehensive cooperation and strategic interaction between the two countries. The joint statement of Russia and China on the current situation in the world and on most burning international issues.
По итогам визита утвержден план действий по реализации
Plan of action have been confirmed in order to implement the Good Neighborliness and Friendly Cooperation Treaty between the People's Republic of China and the Russian Federation for 2018-2020. On the sidelines of that visit, a number of commercial documents have also been signed. Ladies and gentlemen, the ceremony of signing joint documents has come to an end, and now we are starting the press conference of the Russian President Vladimir Putin and the General Secretary, President of the People's Republic of China, Mr. Xi Jinping. Mr. General Secretary, ladies and gentlemen, the official visit of the General Secretary of the People's Republic of China certainly is a central event in the relations of our countries this year. Yesterday, we talked in a non-formal atmosphere, exchanging frank views on the most burning matters relating to the bilateral agenda. And today we've had very contentful talks involving also the heads of major companies and ministries of our countries. We agree that strategic partnership between our countries have gained wonderful momentum on all tracks, almost all tracks. I would like to underline the fact that Mr. Xi Jinping is the one to be thankful that he contributed tremendously to the celebration of friendship relations, and that is the reason why we decided to honor Mr. Xi Jinping with the Order of Saint Edu, the Apostle, the First Court, and that is the highest Russian ceremonial order. We've discussed the whole range of issues relating to our cooperation. We've achieved important understanding on further steps to build up the momentum on most different tracks. We have discussed in detail economic cooperation, noting that the circulation of goods this year and last year have been growing at a very satisfying pace. In 2016, it increased by 4%, reaching $66 billion. And within the 4 months of this year, the increase is 37%, which is $24 billion. The top priority track is certainly the energy sector. Russia is the leader in supplying China with oil. Within the framework of the intergovernmental agreements, we've transported 27 million tons, and including the commercial contracts, we have 52.5 million tons. We are working to implement the Siberian pipeline, and that is the ultimate output of 38 billion tons per year for 30 years. We also signed an additional agreement in order to start the exports of the LNG in December 2019. We continue to harmonize the modalities of the western route, and also the LNG production facility called the Yamal LNG is about to be completed, and a very substantial share belongs to China, 29.9%, and it's 99% ready, and it would be put into operation next year. Also, we successfully constructed the first stage of the NPP in China, the Taiwan nuclear station. The 2 more units are to be put into operation further on. We agreed to continue our close cooperation in the sphere of nuclear energy. We have paid special attention to high-tech spheres and cooperation, and I mean the airspace innovations. We are preparing a new program for the cooperation in space for the period between 2018 to 2022. What concerns aviation industry, we work efficiently to construct a long-distance plane and the civil helicopter of new makes. We also construct the high-speed train infrastructure to connect our 2 countries and to modernize the fleet of carriages and trains. We also want to create the route between Europe and Western China to connect these 2 parts of the world with the road, which would be constructed later on, and we are going to design the project next year. Also, we work on the Trans-Siberia routes and Baikal-Amur routes, which echoes the Chinese initiative discussed recently at the forum in China. within the framework of the One Belt, One Road initiative. And the initiative of the Chinese leader deserves utmost attention, and we are ready to support it as much as we can. I'm confident that such cooperation can yield positive results, giving new jobs and new successful projects which would help the regions of our countries. We've set the goal to be more active in what concerns the credit and finance cooperation. Last year, by the way, the accumulated direct investments from China to Russia have increased by 12%, reaching $2.3 billion. We have agreed to continue the cooperation between the Russian Direct Investment Fund and the Bank of China to create a joint investment forum with the capital of 65 billion yuan. Also, we agreed to use more actively the national currencies in investments and in exchanges between the countries. I'm sure that will be contributed to by the first office of the Russian Central Bank in China. We also see much potential in the cooperation in the sphere of agriculture. Last year, the exports of Russian agricultural products have increased by 17%, reaching $1.6 billion. Also, we agreed to increase the crops exports. We are on the final stage of completing the contract of other kinds of crops exports, as well as the exports of poultry and meat to China. Also, we harmonized the processes within the Eurasian Economic Union and the Chinese One Belt, One Road. That is a very promising track of cooperation. We should work jointly on that track in order to form a broad pan-Eurasian space of cooperation. During the talks, we've touched upon other burning issues. First and foremost, humanitarian context between Russia and China. On the future context, we talked during our meeting with the representatives of the social and business circles, as well as representatives of mass media of Russia and China. We have stressed the successful implementation of another major project, that is the crosshair of Russian-Chinese mass media. And also we are having another regular forum of mass media just today. And the key result is to launch the broadcast of our Katyusha channel in China. We have prepared for signing an agreement in the sphere of film production. We also have good groundwork for creating new movies and cartoons for children. Today, in Russia, more than 25,000 people from China received education in Russia, while 17,000 people from Russia study in China, and we are to increase that figure up to 100,000 people in two countries studying for the benefit of the nations. Also, Russian-Chinese University will be working soon in Shenzhen with the help of the Moscow State University and Beijing Political University. We hope that up to 5,000 people could be studying at that university. Also, in tourism, we see that Chinese people are the ones who travel most frequently to Russia, and they stand for 30% of the tourist flow to Russia. China is the second country in terms of the popularity for Russian tourists. That is another point of the increase of the flow, that is 30% increase in the flow. We discussed the international affairs too. We work actively in cooperating together on the international arena. We agreed to deepen our cooperation in different areas of multilateral formats, such as the United Nations, the SCO, the G20, which have been echoed in our joint statement. In 2 days, together with Mr. Xi, we are to participate in the G20 summit in Hamburg, and as tradition, we are to have a working meeting within the BRICS format. This year, China preside over the organization, and China is to host in September an official summit of the organization. Also, we have the priority to find solutions to the problem on the Korean Peninsula, laying the foundation for peace and lasting security in Asia. We have agreed to promote our joint initiative based on the Russian step-by-step plan to solve the Korean problem, together with the People's Republic of China, we are going to put on ice the military tests and rocket tests, missile tests of North Korea. We have exchanged our views on the Syrian conflict and other burning issues, speaking about the ways to implement new and to harvest new potential of the Iranian program. We certainly usually coincide in views, so sometimes we are very close in terms of our positions on international issues. We are determined to increase our coordination even further. Today's talks are going to benefit the further development of the whole complex of our truly friendly relations. Again, I would like to thank our Chinese friends for such a frank dialogue, very fruitful dialogue, and I would like to thank President Xi for his contribution. Thank you for your attention.
Mr. President Putin, friends on Russian side, friends in the media, good afternoon. I'm very happy to meet my old friend, President Putin, and to meet everyone here together. This time is my sixth visit to Russia since I became the head of Chinese state in 2013, and my third state visit to Russia. Together with President Putin, we have held our third meeting this year. We have exchanged opinions on bilateral relations and international and regional issues, and we have reached a wide range of understanding. It is a great honor for me to receive the Order of St. Andrew the Apostle, the first call, which was awarded to me by President Putin. I will sincerely uphold the spirit of friendship between our two countries. We have signed and made public People's Republic of China and the Russian Federation joint statement on further deepening of strategic partnership and interaction relations, and joint statement of PRC and Russian Federation on important issues of international and regional level. We have approved PRC and Russian Federation Good Neighboring and Friendly Cooperation Realization Plan from 2017 to 2020. The foreign ministers of the two countries signed and made public the joint statement on the nuclear problem of Korean Peninsula. The relevant authorities and enterprises of the two countries have also signed a great number of cooperation documents, which means that the visit had fruitful results and lended great impetus to the development of our relations. President Putin and me unanimously believe that the relations between the two countries are at their best in their history. Regardless of the changes of international environment, our determination to deepen our strategic partnership has not wavered. We will continue to make our foreign policy a priority, the development of bilateral relations, and we will expand the coordination on the issues that are of mutual interest. We will actively promote cooperation in various areas. We will make our relations an example and of big country relations. We have happily noted that throughout this year, under the joint efforts of the two sides, we have positive dynamics in our cooperation. We have reached 26% growth of our trade volume. China is still the largest trade partner of Russia, and the structure of our trade is becoming better. The investment, energy, transportation, and other areas, great projects, big projects, are developing successfully. We are now conducting integration of the initiatives of One Road, One Belt and Eurasian European Union. All this work does not only help the development of our two countries, but also provides energy for the revival of world economy. Throughout this year, we see intensive development of humanitarian cooperation. We have already conducted national years, youth years, media years, tourist years, and so on. This year, we see the media cooperation year. The number of exchange students in both countries is increasing rapidly. In Shenzhen this year, the joint university will be established. The 20th anniversary of Peace and Cooperation Committee and the 60th anniversary of Soviet-China Friendship Society has a great meaning for strengthening the social and public opinion basis for our relations. President Putin and me unanimously believe that the present world is not very stable. We see a lot of conflicts and wars. Korean Peninsula, Syria, and other burning issues are still complicated and not easy to settle. China and Russia will increase interaction and coordination in international issues. Along with international society, we will put efforts into making the world order better and into maintaining international peace and stability. We will counter international challenges and promote political settlement of various disputes. We will make contribution to prosperity and cooperation in the world. President Putin and me will together take part in the G20 summit in Hamburg. China and Russia are important economies in the world, which are trying to build open world economies. Our two sides will increase contacts and coordination within the G20 framework in order to promote the growth of world economy. President Putin and me will continue to have intense contacts in order to use the diplomacy between the state leaders as a guideline, as guidance for the development of the relations of two countries. I invite President Putin to take part in the Xiamen summit of BRICS in September this year in order to strengthen friendly cooperation and contacts between the two countries. Thank you.